And we are live coming to you from the dirty South Winston-Salem, North Carolina. How is everyone doing out there? Well into the holiday season now. Thanksgiving Thursday here in the States. A month away from Christmas tomorrow. Hey, what's up, Blue Rock? A little bit of what I'm talking about. I saw you did the same type of thing. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw the name of it. And no, I wouldn't trade my collection for a 52 Mantle. Said it before you could finish the sentence when I watched the video. And that's simple. You answered it. This is my collection. Worked hard for this collection, and that card does not just given to me would not mean the same as my collection. It's just that's an easy one. And like Hitman said in his video today, having one card is not a collection, I guess. I guess how you define it. But that was an interesting question by Pepino. And then you brought it forward again. And so, I have been not buying here lately. I did buy a couple cards on Topps.com. On Thursday, I did purchase the Skeens Rookie of the Year card. And then a couple of Star Wars cards on there. I can't remember if I bought anything else on there that day. If it was a living set or throwback Thursday. Can't remember. I feel like I bought a couple of things. What's up, Dr. Exclusive? Thank you for the heads up. I saw it and then I backed out. And today, thank you for sending that along. I should have bid on it when I saw what the winning bid was. He sent me a thing for a Swedish Star Wars card, I think, and it sold for $30. I should have jumped on that. But I did buy a card today. I said, let me look through my what I look for, which is Pete Alonso super short prints, and there was a camo card rookie numbered. I think they're numbered to 10. I think, or I can't remember. 2019. It is the update rookie debut one, not the 475 series 2, but that's okay. I didn't have either one of them. They don't pop up very often. It was in an 8. So I feel like I did get it at a good price. When those cards pop up, you have to sometimes. I said, if you watch my channel, follow me. I said I wasn't purchasing anything for until the first of the year, maybe. But there's always a but, and this is the but. When you find something like that, something that don't pop up very often, probably, this time of year is a good time to look for things like that on eBay because people are selling things to get money for the holidays, which is understandable. For say, what's up, Jeff? So somebody like me, all my kids that are in my bubble are pretty much grown up. I have a couple of friends that have kids, but I don't see them for Christmas. So, and I told people, do not buy me something because I'm not buying you anything for Christmas in my circle, because we're at the point now where we're just handing back and forth gift cards. And when that started, I was out. I'm done at that point. And I send cards to people whenever I want, stuff like that. I plan on doing it this Christmas. To be honest, it came up kind of quick. For me, this time of year, not too into it, to say the least, for different reasons. I do get the winter doldrums or whatever. I've been getting that pretty much my whole adult life. October rolls around, I start getting till baseball basically. When I spring training, that's one of the reasons I get excited. Just lets me know warm weather is coming, longer sunshine, things like that. Gets me going. But yeah, I was very happy to get that Pete Alonso. Yes, he's probably not going to be a Met after this year. That's another reason why I'm starting to look now, because if people are going to start selling stuff, I think that stuff's going to start hitting the market here sooner rather than later and stuff like that. Sometimes you got to pay up a little bit because it's just that many out there. And it was an 8, but there's only 10 of them out there. So that number on the top corner of a PSA slab really doesn't mean anything. It looked like it was in good shape, looked centered. So I jumped on it. But that's the thing. Like I said, I know I don't have FOMO, but I don't know if let me know. Is that a FOMO thing? When something like that pops up, you're not going to see it. You don't know. That's the first one I've seen in years. I can't find it at shows. I don't know what to really say about that. I feel like I had to jump on it. But anyway, I got it. And I broke my own rule of definitely FOMO. Thank you, Lou Rock. Make me feel better. Yeah, so it's one more card to add to my rookie Pete Alonso collection. So there you have it. So I'm happy to have it. I don't care if it's FOMO or not. I feel good about it. And, not really out looking for anything. And, but that just said, screw it. Football games weren't that great. Well, actually, the Dallas-Washington game was one of the craziest games. Look, I'm a Dallas fan, and I was not rooting for Washington, but I kind of wanted Washington to win today because I hate Philadelphia so bad that I wanted Washington to win to stay within striking distance of Philly. Dallas ain't going nowhere, and all they doing is screwing up their chances at getting a good draft pick. And then I watched most of the Green Bay. Green Bay power. They're just so strong. Their wide receivers are big. Running backs are big. Quarterback is big. They're just the big, strong team. They just kind of bullied the 49ers a little bit today. They kind of punched them in the mouth. Tonight we got I didn't even see. I don't think I'm really caring about it. I'll probably go right to bed after this because I got a little bit of a headache. But anyway, I'm babbling. Let's get to the topics at hand. My first topic was, do we have to choose vintage or modern? No. Okay, now to the next question. No, I'll go into this has been coming up here more and more lately, but it feels like I didn't know this was a thing. I've talked about it before many times. It feels like ad nauseum. Both topics tonight. There's good FOMO and bad FOMO. Let's be honest. Some cards you won't see again. Yeah, thank you. That's a good way to put it. Makes me feel better, Joe. Thank you. So I know, Joe likes to get vintage hockey, but he'll look at newer stuff. Lou Rock, he collects everything. I don't know why we've gotten this dichotomy now, vintage or modern. I didn't know. I thought I collected cards. I collected things. I love baseball. Really love baseball. Probably more than I should. Like most fans of any sport, we probably love it more than we should. But it is a release for us. It's a way for us to kind of, get away from real world reasons. That's why when things we don't like show up on the sports feeds, we tend to get a little pissed off. but they're human beings as well. But I digress. Uh, yes, I collect way more modern than I do vintage, but it's just because it's more readily available. Um, I'm very picky on my vintage because of how the how it's been handled. I mean, it's old. You don't know what type of shape it's in. I'm very, very hesitant on buying it online. I used to say I didn't, but then I started thinking I have in the past. But most of the time, it is graded, at least. But I do like to, because not all grades are the same. Um, and I do like to see where the issues are with the card, and it's hard to see on a photo. But what I do want to touch on, and this misunderstanding, and this thing where I don't want to collect modern because of all the inserts. I agree. I'm an old guy too. I'm 53. The inserts have gotten crazy. I miss the days of just the base sets and having an all-star set or something like that, or a leader set or something like that that goes along with it. But let's don't kid ourselves here for a second here. The guy, when we do vintage, whoever's looking for that, there's variants in vintage cards. How many times have I heard somebody pick up a vintage card and go, "Oh, this is a gray back or a green back. Oh, this one has a portrait photo, or this one has a green background, not the red background, or the bat on shoulder holding glove." There's variants. And believe me, that's scary too to people that don't know any better, like me. I have to study that stuff too. There's always going to be something missing the trademark symbol, missing the star beside a trademark symbol, blank fronts, blank backs, promotional cards. The numbering on the back is different. There's all these different things that people don't even realize. Marble signs behind it. 4 different ways that a 1989 card was made. It's inserts are often the nicest cards, but there's no sense of year-to-year design. They seem to like they could be from any set. That's true. Very true. Very true. And I just, but what has come to the modern card and how the variants are, and it's made it fun. That's why I said today I picked up the camo of 1980, the 2019 card, because guess what? I've been having fun picking up all the variants of 475. This is not a 475. This is this rookie debut and update. But I'm having fun picking those up. The All-Star, the Home Run Derby. Man, he has, I think I have a spreadsheet from Dave. You can get them on Etsy for Pete Alonso's rookie cards, and it's like 1,200 of them. Rookie year cards, however you want to define it, right? I don't care about those definitions right now. But I just want to touch on some things that I think that are not touched on when people are talking about the dichotomy and how much it's more alike than you want to agree if you're one that think it's a versus, right? So you have in vintage, you also have variants. And then what do? We probably either buy it already graded or we get it graded. So now we're putting a number on this card on how it looks, how it, the corners, the centering, all this stuff. It has a number on it now. And here's the next. This is the kicker. This is when somebody. I wish I had brought out a vintage card. Do I have one behind me? Yeah, I have one behind me. I'll grab. since everybody wants to talk about Mickey Mantle, I'll pick up on Mickey. So we get it graded, right? This is the post cereal. Now Jello makes another variant of this, looks just like it, but it's a Jello set. It's a little different. And then we get it graded, and we get this number that's assigned to it. But also, what's the next thing that somebody wants to talk about when they talk about the card itself? And after it's graded, is the pop count. Now, I don't care how you want to define it. When I start hearing you talking or anybody talking about pop count, that is no different than having a purple with to 50 on the back or to 25 on the back or what a blue. It's no different. It's an arbitrary number. There's going to be more graded. There's going to be more pop count. And then they'll say, oh, it's a 4.5, only 5 graded higher. Then you're talking about rarity at the 5.5. So I don't understand why the emphasis is this dichotomy of vintage or modern is better. They're not. It's the same. We all collect cards. We collect cards. The drama over this bullshit and the stuff that's getting started, or one is better than the other, it's nothing there. There's no there. We're pieces of cardboard. Just one is older than the other. And guess what? There's good players throughout. And if you tell me you're collecting history and you don't have a Freddie Freeman, if you don't know what history is, he created history in the World Series. Shohei Ohtani created history this season. I don't care about the bag size. It's the rules. Rules of the game. The mound is different than what it was in 1962. We don't sit there and gripe about how many strikeouts and all this other bullshit. In football, this field is the same size, but the players are bigger, stronger, faster. The rules have changed. But we don't sit there and yell about how many touchdowns somebody scored in 1977 compared to 1924. Or points in NBA when there wasn't a 3-point line. I can remember when it wasn't a 3-point line. I played as a kid with no 3-point. They came along as I got into junior high, I believe. So rules change, things change of the sports. But that's the rules they play with at the time. So that's what we got to deal with. Yeah, he was Freddie Freeman. Speaking of that battery, I just put a bunch of his cards on sale on Sport Lots, just to let you know. I think they're all Braves except for like 1 or 2 of them. Cheap too. I just that you know, I'm again. I know there was a video this week, and I was not mad at the video. I just don't understand where we're coming with this dichotomy of either or, and why we have to choose either or. Why can't we enjoy it all? I don't understand. Is the fear, modern? I know for me in modern, I have some fear in vintage because it's just all over the place in the vintage world to me. It's like the prices change so much. There's a little bit more drastic change, especially in grading. But I've gotten better at that. I've got tools, just the same tools that people use in the modern. Yes, modern has a lot of different sets and variants and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, most people are only looking for a few things, RPAs. They're the big stuff. I don't know what you're looking for. If you're looking for the flagship's always there. Topps flagship, same stuff that was in 1954 is in 2024. They make a Series 1, Series 2, and an update. Yes, it's variants in there. Even Heritage makes fun of the variants of the years past. The year that they replicate, they'll duplicate the variants in their production of that card. I personally like it. I personally like when people don't like what I collect. It's going to make it a little easier to obtain with less eyes on it. Yes, Joe. I was going to get to that on my second part of my question tonight. Because I have 30 minutes to drive in traffic. I have a lot of thinking time. That's an hour a day. That's when I listen to most of my videos that are people that I want to listen to or things that they intrigue me. And I see my number count tonight is not as big as some other nights. It's going up and going down because these are topics that not everybody wants to listen to some dude talk about, especially when I have my favorite, Pepsi or Coke. We can't sell Pepsi and Coke in the same restaurants for some reason, but that's, I'll drink Pepsi, What's up, Three River? What's going on, brother? So my whole thing is, with this is like, in our community, it's card collecting. It's enthusiasm. It's what we love to do. If we didn't love doing this, we wouldn't spend time on YouTube away from our family and friends and have internet friends that I've become more friends with than my childhood friends that I've had for 40 years. I talk to Lou Rock and Joe and, Jeff's on here all the time, Carlisle, which I got to get down to Atlanta to see. Three Rivers on here all the time. I feel like I talk to y'all on here. I feel like y'all are like at least acquaintances, high fiving, brother hugging, whatever, MFers, So when it comes to this dichotomy and point fingers on who collects what and why we collect it and all this stuff, why do I collect vintage? Because I love it. Why do I collect modern? I love it. I've said this a million times. It's an extension of my fandom, my extension of what I love, right? And I've said it. The way I'm trying to get my apartment is like when you walk in here in 5 minutes, you're gonna know what I love: Gary Carter, Mets, Cowboys, catchers, Star Wars, UVA. Baseball stadiums, they're my cathedrals. Bink, what's up? What up, yo? I collect vintage, modern, and slabs and raw and build sets and collect sealed wax. It's my island. That's right. We have PCs. We evolve. We change. I'm always changing on how I'm collecting. I feel pretty comfortable now what I'm collecting and pretty locked into it. My one thing is what happens with Pete Alonso, and I don't even care if he goes to the Yankees. I won't collect him in a Yankee uniform, but I'll catch up on his Mets stuff, right? Or if there's another Met, David Wright, I've been collecting. Howard Johnson, Hojo with the Mets, Piazza with the Mets, catchers. I like to beef up my Yogi Berra a little bit on playing days. I have a few, not a lot. I like to get Carlton Fisk rookie card. Just trying to, I have where I'm at. I'm very happy. My Mount Rushmore, Roy Campanella's, Mickey Cochran, man, when I found Mickey Cochran and started collecting him, and I get goosebumps and how it came about. That was a great journey for me. And collecting the cards goes along with learning about him for me. And that's where I feel like us as collectors have a step on these other people that just go to the Baseball Hall of Fame and enjoy the Baseball Hall of Fame or just watch the games. We have this other thing, right? Baseball cards. We get the cards. We have a piece of our favorite players, things we watch on TV. Don't spoil it by sitting there telling, oh, you shouldn't collect that or collect this because it's going to be worth more. Let everybody find their way. That's the fun part of this hobby, is finding your way through it. You might need some help to get started, but really, it's not that hard. It's really not. They might want to know, hey, where can I find pricing? Because yes, when you go to buy something, you need pricing. When you go to sell something, you need pricing. Where do I go to buy stuff other than eBay? That's all legitimate questions. But when it comes to, like, telling somebody how to be doing their hobby, that's for them to find. That's their yellow brick road to go find the man behind the curtain, right? That's just that's the journey. That's the fun of the journey. The fails, the wins. We've all done it. We've all done it. If you've been doing this at all, not everything's a win. And that's what it feels like a lot of times when you go to shows. That's why I don't trade at shows and stuff. I don't really trade at all. I sell. And I usually sell a lesser than what comps are or whatever. Because most of the time, I want to feed somebody else that's collecting, help them in their hobby journey. Do you feel like there's a divide in the community? Yes, that's what I'm talking about right now, Gary. I know you came in maybe a little late. Is this dichotomy of why vintage or modern, right? And I don't think it's with everybody. I think it's with people that stick with modern, people that stick with vintage, the reasons why we give. I do think it is. We're not enjoying each other's stuff as much as we did when I first started. And when I first started watching was probably about 7 years ago. When I first started doing this, now it's about 6 years. I've been talking here lately. Hashtag collectors take this back. Collectors, where's my collectors? It's all about, it's not all about, it's too much flipping. How much money am I going to gain? What was the top 5 cards that sold on eBay? I mean, that's fine. I don't watch them, and I don't get mad if they're on. There's a spot for them everywhere. But I think some of this hobby's turning that way, and it seems like these new guys are sitting there saying that, or the vintage guys are saying that the modern guys are too much, buying cards of players that ain't done anything, but they're buying stuff too. It seems like to do a lot of reselling. It's a lot of, let me buy cards of guys, these dead guys, to see if they go up any too as well. Because that's my next part I want to get into. Let me see what else is. ComC Black Friday starts tomorrow. Get your wanders. They're almost free. Henry, is ComC really starting Black Friday? And I don't even know. That's a personal thing, right? When somebody wants to do that. The experts. Yeah. Ultra Modern is way to go. Strongly way to go. YouTube was better. We lived through the COVID investors, and now we have the expert collector educational era. Hopefully we turn a corner and go back to collecting, sharing what we collect. Yeah, and right now I haven't missed showing cards. Let me show you something I did pick up, because and Carla, I meant to message you about this if you're still on here. I guess it's been at the post office for a while, because East Connecticut Cards, Mike Fabian told me about it. But yeah, I picked up this sheet of Hank Aaron stamps. I picked up a sheet of Yogi Berra earlier in the year, and then I picked up this Hank Aaron So really, really happy with that. Beautiful stamps. Uh, Hank Aaron, classic Hank Aaron swing. Why not? For a collector. Let's see. There's ways to collect with the vintage mindset. With the modern stuff, you just have to collect the guys who have cemented themselves as Hall of Fame locks or probables. Just have to find the right lane. Yeah, and Three River, and it doesn't, even if you don't collect Hall of Famers, heaven forbid, or guys that don't win MVPs, just you like a player, right? You, I mean, I like Howard Johnson. Who in the hell likes Howard Johnson? I like Howard Johnson. There's his 8x10 right there. I have almost a whole book full of Howard Johnson cards. I have his rookie with the Detroit Tigers, several, all the three, companies at the time. Uh, you know, that's who I mean, there's other ways to roll, man. Uh, love when dealers complain about resellers. They're doing the same thing. They just didn't buy a table at the show. Exactly. That's Zach. That's the, I don't know. So I didn't know this YouTube community was here. I probably been around it now going on oh 20 years, maybe 18 years of watching videos, and then and it was very sparsely. I found out that I could buy cards online. That was like a revelation to me when I started getting income that I could do that with, especially boxes. And then I found YouTube by accident for because playing MLB The Show. So I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's probably 15 years maybe. And then started doing videos about 6 years ago, I guess. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at. So I don't know how always this community has been or set. It seems like it was more of a collectors. I know at one time was a lot of more football, but I just don't care about what sport you collect. I don't care about what you collect as long as you're enthusiastic about it. I talk about that all the time. Oh yeah, for sure. Pirates are full of those kind of guys. Just an example of how the vintage only guys can use. Yeah, yeah, I understood that Three Rare. I was just playing off of what you were saying, not going against it. Because they we get hung up on these Hall of Famers, the best of the best. Well, why do they create flagship is what 700 cards, 770, something like that when you collect all three sets of it. So that there's always players for somebody with team collecting or what up. BF Golf, what's up, man? I've never seen that name on here. Are you first time on here, or welcome if you are, or lurk in the past? I don't know, but how you doing? I collect golf carts too. I wish I can get back into golfing, but my body just doesn't like me to do it. Early on, yeah, that's what Gary, now I'm good friends with Mike and Ed and Mike Fabian and Dave. I'm getting a great history through Dave Archer. Great history lesson on this community. Brad, I talk with these guys, and it's been great. I've interacted with you before a time or two. Okay. Well, welcome back. No Hall of Fame had nothing to do with what and how I collect. Hall of Fame is a small part. Yeah. I don't go after. I go after players I love. Now, most of them in the Hall of Fame. David Wright, not in the Hall of Fame. Howard Johnson, not in the Hall of Fame. I'll pick up Todd Hundley in the Mets uniforms. Another catcher I used to really, really like.
Vintage Gas Prospect 2. There's a lot of videos about who. Yep, yeah, that's a big thing. I'm a pre-boom guy too. Okay, yeah. I've been collecting since the '70s, and when I got to be out of high school and real world, parents. When I decided to work full time, get my first place with my friends, I still collected, but it was on a very, very, very shoestring budget. A few packs every couple of weeks. I basically just kind of had them stacked on my dresser, or I had a shelf in my closet. Because actually, my collection was at my grandma's house and my first house I had. Thank goodness, because it was such a it looked like a small version of the Animal House, and it was kind of like a small version of Animal House, the first place I lived in. So I'm glad I didn't have anything worth a damn in that house. By the time we moved out, all the windows were broken out. You just walk straight into a window at my house, get in. So I didn't have anything. I think I had a Sega Genesis with 5 games. That was about it. On a small TV. But yeah, that's that. But I had fun those years. That's why I say my '90s card collection is like my memory. It's got a lot of holes in it. I got a very, very good job in 2005-ish, and then I started getting where I'm at now. But still, I still on a very now I'm hard budget. It felt like I'm back at being 20 years old, single income, trying to pay for everything now. I love the hockey. I know what you're talking about. I played Sonic, 94 hockey, Sega Genesis. What else did I play a lot of when there was a tank, Abrams tank. I still have a Sega Genesis and a bunch of games. So, Gauntlet, that was a fun one too. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So, and this kind of goes to also. So I know it's clickbait. Saw another video. Is the hobby dead? Talking to somebody that's going to tell me if the hobby's dead or not. Repeat after me. The hobby is a personal thing. It's only dead if you let it be dead. Carlos texted me tonight. I should have had him on. He's got one of the greatest stories. People are telling him in the late 90s, hobby's dead, and he's going to the expo waiting in lines. There was lines going everywhere. People were still buying stuff. The hobby's only dead if you want it to be dead to you. If you want to walk away, the hobby's dead. If you're selling right now, people, I heard today, Victor on his video, which he talked about Chicago and the Chicago Land show this weekend. And, is the hobby dead? Of course it's not dead. That dude comes off as a tryhard. Who's a tryhard? What dude? Is it me? Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I didn't see when you put that. But is the hobby dead? No. Even if somebody, I put up here, the hobby has been dying for 3 years now. For 3 years. Oh yeah, the hobby dying guy. I got you, Eric. Since before COVID, right? After COVID, me and Eric talked about it last week. I walked behind him at the first show after Chicago when people were like, "Oh, COVID's over. Everybody's going to go back to the real world. It's going to die," and you couldn't walk around on the bottom. And Eric's holding his phone, videotaping it, recording it. Look at my age, videotaping, and saying the hobby's dead. And I'm just, it was cracking me up. A dude pulls up in a sports car selling soccer, Messi or whatever cards. I'm just like, what the hell are we seeing here? Damnedest night of my life, right? And it's still going like this. They're adding tables at the National. Victor goes today, and he said, I mean, they call it the mini national, but the place was packed this weekend. The show he went to, uh, he got good deals. Local to regional shows are still popping up everywhere. There's at least two more promoters down here in my area. I can go in a summer, spring, and fall. It's about dying down now. We have a show. I think it's done for this year, and so, but there's four strong promoters here in North Carolina, and one of them is all the way up into Northern Virginia, and one goes into South Carolina. So we have a very strong. What does Gary say? I see a lot of people commenting him and stuff. I went to the show in Cary last weekend, and you could barely walk for the crowd. Oh, you were in Cary? Okay. The hobby feels much bigger than 2018, and people act like it's dying. Yeah, and I think most of it is, especially, and I hate to say it, but these people, the ones that want to cry vintage is greater than modern, right? It's almost like they're trying to make sure people are keeping the prices of the vintage stuff up. They start seeing that dip, and all of a sudden, the sky's falling. It's all when you bought it. Did you buy it at the height? Do you know like what the ceiling is for these cards? I've been saying that throughout COVID and after. It's like a card's $5,000. How much better is that guy going to be, right? We see Mahomes winning 3 Super Bowls, and his cards haven't really quadrupled or anything. It went down after his second Super Bowl. The cards I try to buy haven't dropped in price at all. Yeah, and see, the higher end stuff is staying up. It's if you want to play in the low end, that's where you can go. Ball shows have only grown, mine anyways, since the hobby started dying. Right. I mean, Gary Bink, I feel you. Evening all. Hey, what's up, Paul C? Sorry I'm late. Got watching Survivor, man. Bigfoot directors commentary video. That's probably funner than what I'm talking about. I love watching those Bigfoot shows, and they talk to me in absolutes like he's really there. I live in North Carolina too. I think you've told me, and now I'm starting to put things together. I'm glad you like golf. You're in the right state. I collect baseball cards. That's my whole point tonight, Eric, is I collect all kinds of stuff, and that's my issue. It's part of our fandom, right? It's 100%. And this dying bullshit, like I said, that's a personal issue. I talked about it about a month ago, 6 weeks ago. The hobby is dying. Long live the hobby. Because there's always somebody's going to say the hobby's dead, but to me it's not. So long live the hobby, right? It's just like the queen is dead. Long live the queen. Well, in this case, the king. There's always going to be a monarch. There's always going to be a hobby. Even when they said it was dead, junk era, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't dead. It was still there. If it wasn't for the 90s and Eric and all you guys that were there, Jesus, the 90s, we wouldn't have Chromium. We wouldn't have like some of the greatest cards and ways of making cards that we have. I mean, that's when the effects and the 3D motion and all that stuff really took off. And I mean, it started in the 90s, but I mean, in the 80s, but man, the 90s is where that stuff, where the real Pinnacle and all these companies really took some chances and really, the prices, the packs went up, but the cards look really, really good. They're beautiful. So what do we got now? We don't have any competition, and the cards look the same as they were last year. Mike O opened up 3 blasters of Mosaic today, and they look like the same Mosaic. They look like the Mosaic baseball cards. They look like Mosaic from last year. there's nobody taking chances. Defects for life, right? No, nobody doing the laser printing or nothing. It's just because they're comfortable. There's no reason to push themselves. Um, and we love them anyway because they're baseball cards or football cards or Mike Tyson Paul cards or whatever, WNBA cards. We love them. Eric's been doing things about the addiction of opening packs, and I agree. I finally broke that addiction, but I did get some WNBA stuff. So I really do like more than a couple of players. So I was like, I'll go ahead and buy this because I'm gonna really like what I'm opening. And I had fun opening. It was a little pricey. For some reason, Walmart was $5 more than the Target, but it was still fun to open. So yeah, the hobby's not dead. And if it is, it's dead to you. It's not dead to me. It's not dead to guys in my chat. It's not dead to the millions and millions of people at home across the country. It's proven at every card show on every weekend. I mean, there is card shows. When I was looking at the national card show lineup, there's card shows Thanksgiving weekend. So don't come at me with the hobby's dead because eBay is a little lower or prices went down a little bit. Your portfolio is taking a hit. I think that's. I didn't watch the video. I just saw the clickbait, and I don't know why. And that's another thing. Why we put people on pedestals in this. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. Like I said, find your own path. Make a video about it. That's all I'm doing. I'm talking about my adventure in collecting. It's my yellow brick road, like I said. Wicked's out. I'm kind of on this Oz thing. Me and my mom talked about it today. But I just feel like we want to learn. Well, all of us are here to answer questions or ask questions. I'm still asking questions. I'm still learning. I'm learning from people that just got in that learn a better way, or new eyes see different things. There is some frustration when I see these videos pop up. Some of them, to be honest, make me want to quit doing what I'm doing on YouTube and keep my friend group. But I really love, especially Sunday night. I really love it. If you can see what's in front of me right now, it looked like a card room just threw up in here. I'm always messing with cards. Somebody said if you do your hobby, like I forget what percentage you have a addiction. Well, I have an addiction. So I'm 2-3 times more. I do other things. I get out the house, do all of that. But usually when I'm sitting here watching TV or watching videos, I'm doing something with cards or playing a game or doing something like that. So, I just saw these couple of videos this week. They rubbed me the wrong way. I wanted some input from my friend, my chat group here. I just wanted to see take a temperature or pulse or whatever the slang is of the room and see how others are feeling. Here we are in holiday season and telling me that the hobbies did. I know one thing. I go to a Walmart or Target and it looks like somebody threw a hand grenade in the card section where everybody's gone through it. It's kind of hard for me to hear the hobby's dead at any type of seriousness or clickbaitiness and sit there and try to take any seriousness about this. It really is ridiculous. And we've been hearing about it since 21, 22. Get over it. Like I said, if the hobbies did to you, hit the bricks, kick rocks. Don't want to see you go, but I like to see you leave, you know? I like to watch you leave. Um, but I think that people make videos and stuff add a lot to our community. Uh, and I just wanted to know what the hell was going on in our community here the last few weeks. Are we out of subjects? Are we done with trying to enlighten ourselves, enlighten each other? Am I missing something? Is that enlightening me to tell me that the hobby's dead? Or telling me how many different uh, cards there were this year in the flagship or Panini or whatever. When I said at the beginning that even vintage has variants, then we grade cards, then it has a number, then it has pop counts, and we're all too ready to start bragging about that, which makes it a variant or shortage or puts numbers on the cards, whatever you want to call it. Three River, it's also a terrible time to sell cards because of the holiday. I feel like the investor group should have picked yes. And that Victor has a great video today talking about that. It happens every year that it takes a little bit of a downturn. Soon as the holidays are over, you start getting into the Super Bowl. Wow, you're starting to play all NFL playoffs. You start getting into talking more and more about baseball. You're getting closer to NBA and hockey still going on pretty strong. But now you got March Madness is right around the corner, so people start getting a little jazzed up about sports altogether. Right now, it's just a little bit of sports is almost a background, right, to what goes on. Thursday, you eat, you unbutton your pants, unbuckle your pants or whatever, sit down and watch football, talking to family and friends. It's almost, like I said, it's a background noise to the holidays. Only like crazy people like us that sit here and do videos, watch videos, have a room full of stuff, really still are into it. Not every, we have to remember not everybody's like us. When you go to a show, that we're the YouTube world is such a small percentage of watchers and people that make content without, I don't know what else. I know people don't like the C word, but whatever you want to call it, at those shows, it's such a small little thing, and we feel like that we're such a big part of it, and we're not. We're there. We're here, hobbies. And then how many people don't buy on eBay at all? They'll rather go to a show because they want to see what they got. They don't want to put their credit card out there, whatever. There's so many reasons why we got to stop looking at eBay to get how the hobby works. Jesus Christ, all you gotta do is just look out your window. Not literally, but my God, look at a video of somebody went to a card show this weekend and tell me the hobby's dead. Or go look at Beckett and look at hobbies. Yeah, see, me too, golf. You go to Beckett and look at the show trade at the back, like the listing of all the shows, right? Look at how many tables at local shows now and regional shows. Like not even at one time, they weren't very big. I went to a local show one town over in a very small Holiday Inn. I mean, they were shoehorning people into that place. The dealers backs were against the wall. They were getting as many tables in as they could, and then shoving all of us in there. I mean, come on. Crosby 600 goal last night, similar to 600 home run club in baseball. Well, we know Crosby's the elite of the elite. He's on a different level, like Ovechkin and Gretzky and the rest of them. So, G Town, no, it was actually over in Clemens or whatever, Clemensville, whatever. That's small of town, not Greensboro. Um, it was in a little Holiday Inn over there. Yeah, that's my captain. Yeah, yeah. I've been to a show in Greensboro at the Armory. Wasn't a good turnout that day. Was not a good turnout. That was a disappointment. It was their first show. Nice facility to have it in. Not a good turnout. I don't think they did another show there. I think it was a one and done. I think it was a group trying to put it on to raise money, and they were trying to do it as 3 times a year. Oh, you did go to that show? Boo Rams. Yeah, I went in high expectations. I found some great $1 boxes. It was one. See, I don't know. I just put it in my GPS and I go. And my friend that lives in Greensboro that I work with, he said that wasn't a great location either. It was a weird. I could say it wasn't straightforward to get there. It was kind of a roundabout way. The coolest thing was the fans in this place, people. The ceiling fans was made with helicopter propellers, like the back things of the helicopters. I thought that was the coolest shit I've ever seen. I was walking around looking at the ceiling fans at the Coliseum. Inside pitch, they're down in Hickory. I know they're new, like somebody bought them. I missed their last show. I wanted to go to that, but I worked that weekend. We have a new promotion here that does Dash Stadium and where the Grasshoppers play in the stadium. But it's a lot more TCG and non-sport, which is fine. Whatever to get the people out. But you'll have golf. Hit me up. Look at my about page and hit me up on either DM me on Instagram or send me something in my email. We have to meet up at a show or something. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. I didn't want to be controversial. I just wanted to talk my mind. I was going to talk about this yesterday, but I was like, no, I want to bounce this off of people because I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm just kind of like, are we at a spot now in our hobby where we don't have anything to talk about? Like, are we done with the conversations? I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, I believe, I agree. That's kind of where I'm at, Eric, is the clickbait. I was being nice, and it's all about, getting those clicks. And I don't blame people so much for that, because if they can get any revenue. If it's, they only get like $45. Well, that's a $45 card you can buy or whatever. I mean, I understand if you're getting revenue and you want to get some. I don't have an issue with that. And, I know nobody's getting rich off of this, but, every little dollar helps, and bless you for it. But I just want, what do I want? If I was the president, I've been seeing a lot of that. If I was the president of the hobby like me and Gina, I don't know. I would just, love everybody's collection, listen to what they have to say, add my 2 cents like I do. And nobody knows it all. And the most fun in this hobby, I feel like, is finding your way. Can it be scary at times? Yeah, but that's what watching people have the luxury of finding us or anybody in this chat on YouTube or Instagram or anything has somebody to talk to help you through their journey. Because we all need help. Don't matter how long you've been doing this, we all need help. And it is
but that's the fun part, making the friends, making acquaintances, just you know, the journey. I keep talking about the journey. And man, has it been fun? I mean, Eric, you saw me the difference between 1 year at the national to the next when I started being who I am. My inner Scott came out, you know, felt comfortable with everybody. Um, it just the journey is where it's at. And I want people to understand, the hobby's not dead unless you want it to be. There's always going to be cards. If Top stop making cards tomorrow, there's still going to be cards out there to get. There's the endless supply of cards. So I don't want anybody to sit there and see that clickbait. And we like to read the headlines and not read the story. So I just want people to understand, like, hey, the hobby's not dead. The hobby's what you want it to be. And also, we don't have to pick an era to collect and go, this is my era. We prefer certain things. We all prefer different drinks. We prefer a different beer. We prefer a different chip. But we're okay if somebody else drinks something else or eats something else or watches something else or, whatever. So just be okay with whatever and why we collect the way we collect and enjoy the enthusiasm, the happiness. And believe me, young people, if you let them on their own journey, they'll get there. They'll get there. They'll start seeing this. You're already seeing it as shows. More and more young people having vintage cards. We don't learn everything about history in 4th grade. That's why they only teach us Virginia history or whatever state you're in. Then they teach you U.S. history and world history. So stop, just relax, have fun, and answer questions and be there to help people on their journey. Help me. Give me the man hug like Orlando did. Let's talk cards. That's what I love. I love going to shows and being around my like people. Man, I got chills right now waiting for my next show. And just love the hobby. Collect the way you want to collect. Love the hobby. Be enthusiastic. Find something that you love about the hobby. And then grow from there. Grow. And evolve. I have evolved. And now I'm a beautiful butterfly. So I'm going to leave y'all in that today. I'm done babbling and my soapbox is getting kicked out from underneath of me. I don't mean to be preachy, and I believe me. You can please, if you want to talk to me below, like I said, to BF Golf. I go to Chantilly too, golf. So, let me know below. My about page has my my DM for Instagram, Facebook, and has my email address. My email address, you might want to let me know. I don't check it as much as I should, but I'm here to help, and I'm hoping y'all are there for me to need help when I need the help. If Mangini is present, I am only collecting the OPG from here on out. Yeah, BF. If you have not got to the national, do everything you can. If you love the hobby, to get to a national, it will definitely. It's eye-opening. It's not just the cards. It's being around everybody. There's no everybody's your friend. Let's just put it that way. there's a hell below, we're all going to go. Yeah. So until next time, like, share, tell a friend, subscribe if you haven't. Doesn't cost you anything. Again, contact me, leave a message below. Please hit the like if you haven't. And until next time, me and my dad be released at 8 o'clock. We talk about the awards. Again, my dad has some great insight on baseball. So if you love the game, watch. It's a long watch. Have it on in the background. He will thank you. Believe me. Three Rivers said it for me. See ya.